Imagine unlocking a 4,000-year-old vault, its heavy stone doors creaking open to reveal secrets that have stood the test of time. Inside, you find not gold or jewels, but something far more valuable, the keys to lasting wealth and prosperity. Today, dear listeners, we're doing just that. We're cracking open the ancient wisdom of Babylon and discovering how it can transform your financial future. Welcome to CEO's Library. Today, we will explore the timeless financial principles that are as relevant today as they were millennia ago. I'm your host, and in this episode, we're diving deep into George S. Clason's classic, The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, you might be wondering, what can a bunch of ancient Babylonians teach me about money in the 21st century? Well, buckle up, because you're about to find out how these age-old parables can revolutionize your finances and set you on the path to true prosperity. Before we begin our journey through the streets of ancient Babylon, let me remind you that the link to purchase The Richest Man in Babylon is in the show notes. Whether you prefer a physical copy to hold in your hands or an audiobook to listen to on your commute, this is one financial education you don't want to miss. Now, let's step back in time and meet a man named Arkad, the richest man in all of Babylon. Picture this. The bustling markets of Babylon, filled with the scent of exotic spices and the chatter of merchants. Among the crowd, two childhood friends, Bansir and Kobe, sit despondently by the side of the road. Bansir, a chariot builder, and Kobe, a musician, are lamenting their financial struggles. Bansir sighs, "We work hard every day, Kobe, yet we have nothing to show for it. Our purses are empty, our clothes are ragged, and our future's uncertain. How is it that our old friend Arkad has become the richest man in Babylon while we struggle to make ends meet?" Kobe nods in agreement. "Indeed, it seems the gods favor him. But wait, I saw him just yesterday. He waved to me from his golden chariot. Perhaps we should seek his advice." And so our two friends, along with other men of Babylon facing similar plights, approach Arkad for his wisdom. Arkad, being a generous man, agrees to share his secrets. And this, dear listeners, is where our first lesson begins. The power of saving, or, as Arkad puts it, paying yourself first. Arkad reveals to his eager audience, a part of all you earn is yours to keep. It should not be less than a tenth no matter how little you earn. It can be as much more as you can afford. Pay yourself first. Now, you might be thinking, pay myself first? But I have bills to pay, debts to settle, and barely enough to get by. I hear you, and so did Arkad's listeners. But here's the thing. This principle is the foundation of building wealth, no matter your current financial situation. Let's break it down. When Arkad talks about paying yourself first, he's not suggesting you treat yourself to a shopping spree or a fancy dinner. He's advocating for setting aside a portion of your income, at least 10%, before you pay anyone else or spend on anything else. In today's world, this might look like setting up an automatic transfer of 10% of your paycheck into a savings or investment account as soon as you get paid. It's about prioritizing your financial future before addressing your present wants and even some of your needs. But how can I possibly save 10% when I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I hear you ask? Well, Arkad has an answer for that too. He suggests starting small if you must, but start nonetheless. Even if it's just 1% at first, the habit of saving is what's crucial. Consider this. If you earn $3,000 a month and save just 1%, that's $30. It might not seem like much, but it's a start. As you get comfortable with this, increase it to 2%, then 3%, and so on, until you reach that golden 10% or more. The power of this principle lies not just in the amount you save, but in the mindset it cultivates. When you pay yourself first, you're prioritizing your financial well-being. You're telling yourself that your future is important, that financial security matters. But Arkad's wisdom doesn't stop at merely saving. He emphasizes the importance of making your money work for you, which brings us to our next principle, the power of compound interest. Arkad tells his listeners, every gold piece you save is a slave to work for you. Every copper it earns is its child that also can earn for you. In other words, it's not enough to simply save your money. You need to invest it wisely to generate more wealth. Now, in Arkad's time, this might have meant lending money at interest or investing in a merchant's venture. Today we have a myriad of investment options: stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, and more. Let's look at a modern example of how compound interest can work its magic. Imagine you start investing $500 a month at age 25, earning an average annual return of 7%, which is a conservative estimate for long-term stock market returns. By the time you're 65, you'd have over $1.2 million. And here's the kicker. Of that $1.2 million, only $240,000 would be from your contributions. The rest, nearly $1 million, would be from compound interest. This, my friends, is the power of making your money work for you. It's like having an army of tireless workers, toiling day and night to increase your wealth. And the earlier you start, the more powerful this effect becomes. But here's a crucial point that Arcad emphasizes: invest wisely. He warns against entrusting your money to those who promise unrealistic returns or to ventures you don't understand. In today's world, this translates to doing your due diligence, diversifying your investments, and being wary of get-rich-quick schemes. Remember, the goal is steady, sustainable growth over time. It's not about getting rich overnight. It's about building lasting wealth that can support you and your family for years to come. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but how can I save and invest when I can barely cover my expenses? Well, dear listener, that brings us to our next principle: living below your means. Arcad advises, budget thy expenses that thou mayest have coins to pay for thy necessities, to pay for thy enjoyments, and to gratify thy worthwhile desires without spending more than 9/10 of thy earnings. In essence, Arcad is telling us to live on less than we earn. It's a simple concept, but one that's increasingly challenging in our consumer-driven society. We're constantly bombarded with ads telling us what we need to buy, and keeping up with the Joneses has become a national pastime. But here's a thought experiment for you. Can you differentiate between your needs and your wants? Take a moment to think about your expenses over the past month. How many of them were truly necessary for your survival and well-being? And how many were luxuries or impulse purchases? This isn't about depriving yourself of all pleasures. Rather, it's about being intentional with your spending and ensuring that you're living within, or better yet below, your means. Here's a practical exercise you can try. For the next month, track every single expense. You can use a notebook, a spreadsheet, or one of the many budgeting apps available. Categorize each expense as either a need or a want. At the end of the month, review your spending. You might be surprised at how much goes towards wants that you could potentially cut back on. Once you have this information, you can create a budget that allocates your income more effectively. Remember Arcad's advice. Aim to live on no more than 90% of your income, saving and investing the rest. This might mean making some tough choices. Perhaps you'll need to downsize your living space, cook more meals at home, or cut back on subscription services. But remember, every dollar you save is a step towards financial freedom. And here's something crucial to keep in mind. Living below your means doesn't mean living a life of deprivation. It's about prioritizing what truly brings you joy and fulfillment, rather than mindlessly consuming. It's about valuing financial security and long-term prosperity over short-term gratification. Arcad puts it beautifully when he says, "That man who keeps in his purse both gold and silver that he need not spend is good to his family and loyal to his king." In modern terms, we might say that the person who lives below their means and saves for the future is setting themselves and their loved ones up for long-term success and security. But saving, investing, and budgeting are just part of the equation. To truly prosper, Arcad teaches us, we must continuously improve ourselves and our skills. This brings us to our next principle, the importance of continual learning and skill development. Arcad shares with his listeners, that which one man knows can be taught to others. He emphasizes the importance of seeking knowledge and developing one's skills to increase earning potential. In Arcad's time, this might have meant apprenticing with a skilled craftsman or studying with a learned scholar. Today we have unprecedented access to information and learning opportunities, from online courses and webinars to podcasts like this one, and books. The resources for self-improvement are virtually limitless. But here's the key. It's not just about accumulating knowledge for its own sake. It's about applying what you learn to increase your value in the marketplace. This could mean 1. developing new skills that are in high demand in your industry. 2. Staying up to date with the latest trends and technologies in your field. 3. Learning about personal finance and investment strategies to better manage your wealth. 4. Improving your communication and leadership skills to advance in your career. The beauty of investing in yourself is that it's an investment that no one can take away from you. Your knowledge and skills go with you wherever you go, opening up new opportunities and increasing your earning potential. Let me share a modern example of how this principle can play out. Meet Sarah, a graphic designer working for a small marketing agency. Sarah loves her job, but she notices that more and more clients are asking for web design services, which her agency doesn't offer. Instead of ignoring this trend, Sarah decides to invest in herself. She signs up for online courses in web design and user experience. She spends her evenings and weekends learning and practicing these new skills. 6 months later, Sarah approaches her boss with a proposal. She showcases her new skills and suggests that the agency start offering web design services to meet client demand. Impressed by Sarah's initiative and the quality of her work, her boss not only agrees but also gives Sarah a raise and puts her in charge of the new web design department. This is the power of continual learning and skill development. By investing in herself, Sarah not only increased her value to her employer and her earning potential, but she also opened up new career opportunities. But remember, learning isn't just about formal education or job-related skills. Arkad would likely agree that learning about personal finance, investing, and wealth-building strategies is equally important. After all, it's not just about earning more. It's about knowing how to manage and grow what you earn. So, dear listeners, I challenge you to make learning a lifelong habit. Set aside time each week for personal development. Read books, take courses, attend workshops, seek out mentors. Your future self will thank you for it. Now, as we near the end of our journey through the wisdom of ancient Babylon, let's recap the key principles we've explored. 1. Pay yourself first. Save at least 10% of your income before you spend on anything else. 2. Make your money work for you. Invest wisely and harness the power of compound interest. 3. Live below your means, differentiate between needs and wants, and budget accordingly. 4. Continually learn and develop your skills. Invest in yourself to increase your earning potential. These principles, though thousands of years old, are as relevant today as they were in Arkad's time. They form the foundation of financial wisdom that has guided countless individuals to prosperity. But here's the thing. Knowledge alone is not enough. As Arkad would say, where the determination is, the way can be found. The true power of these principles lies in their application. So, I have a challenge for you. This week, choose one of these Babylonian principles and commit to implementing it in your life. Maybe you'll set up an automatic transfer to start saving 10% of your income. Perhaps you'll track your expenses and create a budget. Or maybe you'll sign up for that online course you've been eyeing. Whatever you choose, take that first step. Remember, the journey to financial prosperity is not about making huge leaps, but about consistent, intentional steps in the right direction. As we close our vault of ancient wisdom, I want to leave you with one final thought from Arkad. Good luck waits to come to that man who accepts opportunity. You've been given the opportunity today to learn these timeless principles. The question is, will you seize this opportunity? Will you apply this wisdom to transform your financial future? The choice, as always, is yours. But know this, just as the ancient Babylonians built one of the greatest civilizations in history, you too have the power to build a prosperous future for yourself and your loved ones. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the streets of ancient Babylon. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with a friend who could benefit from this wisdom. And don't forget, the link to purchase The Richest Man in Babylon is in the show notes. Whether you prefer a physical copy or an audiobook, this is one financial education you don't want to miss. Until next time, this is CEO's Library reminding you that the secrets to wealth are timeless. It's up to us to unlock them.